Okay, well, hi everybody. I'm Hua. I'm a first-year graduate from the Taipei Meisner Studio, and I'm here with our beloved teacher, Martijn Hua. Hi, Martijn.
Hi, Hua.
So you were saying that it's very important to be doing the doing in acting. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, the first question I ask in class, or one of the first questions when we start the training, is what is acting? And lots of people then come up with acting is indicating, acting is pretending, acting is being someone else, acting is being emotional, acting is in this kind of corner type of thing. Whereas I think that's also a thing in the Chinese language, yan yuan. I'm not sure what it literally means.
That's right. Yeah.
What is the meaning of yuan yuan?
A person who acts, but also, the word yan it's a specific word. It doesn't have much to do with doing. So in our concept, acting is more like it's more like pretend or putting up a show.
Yes. Whereas in the English language and most European language, acting literally means something else, which is acting, doing something, to act. This is, I think, and it's not what I think, but this is what Meisner thinks, the essence of acting is the doing. It's not about being emotional. It's not about being someone else or becoming someone else. It's about actually doing something. And from the doing, all kind of other things come up, but they come up as a side effect, not something that you purposely aiming for.
Can you give us an example? It sounds very philosophical. What is doing? What could be an example of doing?
Well, as we are doing now, you are listening now, and I am speaking to you. This is a doing. You are actively listening. You're not pretending to listen. You're not pretending that you are watching now at the screen, but you're actually watching. And there's no difference between you watching and a character you're performing that's watching or listening. That's all ultimately the same. So that's a very important concept, of course, that you are doing something actively in the here and now, and not pretend that you do it.
It's true. I'm like, if I was pretending to be interviewing you, I could be just asking all the questions and then let you talk, and wait for the next blank. But I'm not doing that. I'm really listening to you, and I'm really feeling the content, that the message you're sharing with us.
Yes, and that's already a good start. To be listening and to observe, and that's what we work on in the Meisner training. But I'm sure that also is practiced in other types of acting training. But it doesn't stop at that. It's also important to have it doing in a scene itself. In the Meisner training, we call this independent activities. Which is, you think about the scene and what could I be doing? Maybe I'm going to a funeral. What could I add in a doing in order to engage myself as an actor and allow the emotions to come out without actually pushing anything to come out? Because ultimately, all acting, although what you purposely do as an actor is the doing, all acting ultimately is emotional, because as humans we are emotional.
Yeah, I remember these activities. We did spend a lot of time putting them up, creating them, and feeling what kind of emotion we experience when we craft an activity that's actually a message for someone, or we're trying to get to an objective.
Yeah. I know you sometimes had a big struggle creating activities.
Yeah, I complain a lot about that. But I think that showed how much my creativity was limited at a time, and trying very hard to fit in a certain structure felt really difficult. But actually, I think by the end of the training, I realized how much possibility there was to how much we could actually create within the guidelines that were given. And what are some of the most creative activities have you seen in your classroom, Martin?
You cannot define creativity. I mean, I saw so many creative activities, and it doesn't stop. But the beauty is in acting, there's no cliche in acting. You know, in normal life we say, "Oh, I've seen that before," or in art we say that. But in acting, when you really feel deeply about something, it will never be a cliche. So even like very well, what we stay away from is mundane, everyday pedestrian activities,
like brushing teeth.
Yeah, cleaning stuff, cleaning the room, because this is only practical, so you cannot really give that meaning. Although later in the training, actually, you can also, do life goes on activities, but so either is actually possible. That's true.
So an ideal activity should be meaningful.
Yeah. It should have a big meaning. It should have a purpose, an objective in itself. So something you do to someone else. It should be inventive, something you wouldn't be doing in normal life, at least in the training. That doesn't require always. That's not always required, of course, when you are performing in a movie. Then mundane activities can be perfect, like cleaning your gun.
Yeah, it has to be very legal. And I remember all that was to help us finding our personal creativity, where we feel the most, what kind of circumstances are the most personal to us.
Yeah, what brings you to life? What makes you happy, sad, or angry?
Yeah, coming alive during the activities. It was very important during the training.
Yeah. Did you feel that you expanded your creativity in the year that you did the training?
I certainly hope so. Yeah, I think so. I think I tried stuff that I've only sort of hoped I'd do or dreamed that I'd do. Like, I noticed I did a lot of activity with my voice. I noticed I did a couple of activities through praying. And I think that eventually became one of my major ways of expressing myself creatively in my career. And so I think all in all, it was a very good exploration, because when I started the training, I just thought I want to be a singer, like a very traditional, but then I realized that I could be doing so much more, combining different elements that I feel personal with. I realized there's this big part of me that wanted to pray for the beautiful things I want to see happen in the world, like peace, like people being happy. So, I mean, these activities actually sort of channeled these personal elements into experience, so that later on I realized, whoa, this is what my personal creativity is about. Yeah. And really has nothing to do with anybody else, what they're doing in the studio.
Yeah, and I think that's very important what you say. It's not about anybody else. You can only judge what's important for you. That's right. And that's what you hopefully found in this training, that you engage, what engages you, what really brings you to life, and what's important for you in your life. So yeah, it's great to hear that you find your voice through the training, at least at that moment.
Yeah, I couldn't be more grateful for the training, like I've expressed on many occasions.
Yeah, and I see that with other people. You know, they did things, create things they never created before anything in their lives, and I know from one student, her house is still packed with all kind of activities she did in the studio, and that's just wonderful that people grow so much in an unexpected way.
Yeah,
because that's what also ultimately is a training is about impulses, and how an impulse is something very personal, and you find through the impulse what really belongs to you, what is important, what is meaningful to you.
Yeah, I think that's really what creativity is about, isn't it? Like, to the very nature of being alive, of being a human being and being an actor, like living out our life energy. It's about respecting these impulses that come from within. I remember when Amy started teaching us, she said she was hoping to teach us to trust and follow every one of these impulses so that we can really be comfortable no matter what's going on, no matter, when she said that, I was like, whoa, if I could be like that, that would be amazing. Yeah. But as crazy as that, I'm living that right now. And I feel it's not a sense of confidence that's like arrogant kind of confidence, but it's like so much at peace with the flow of life and accepting whatever's going on, and just realize whatever happens, however you're feeling, you can express it and it's okay. And something will always come up, and someone will always respond you in a way, and you can always respond, and then things don't have to get stuck at one point. You don't have to hold on to a feeling. You're allowed to be flexible, and one minute you're crying, you're angry, and now this next minute you're reconciling with a person. I really find that beautiful. It saved my life.
Yes, you are unique as a person. You are unique, and that's actually what the training is all about. That you don't judge yourself, but that you're allowed to be your own self, and to just follow whatever comes up from it, and trust that it has quality in itself because it's coming from you, because it has this unique quality that defines you. And I think that's ultimately what the training is about, that everybody finds their own uniqueness.
Yeah, their individuality, and everyone really needs to express themselves more comfortably, so that we live in a world that has less cliche,
but also allowed to be a cliche. If your uniqueness is labeled by others as a cliche, well, that's not really your problem. You shouldn't judge yourself in terms of like, this is a cliche. Well, all our lives are in a way a cliche. We get born, we marry, and we die, which is
I love it.
But judging that as a cliche also drags you down and keeps you into your bed, which also turns you into another cliche. But that's not helpful to regard yourself or anyone else in such a way.
Yeah, I see. A very radical attitude toward self-accepting, cliche or not cliche. Yeah, I mean, you're just being, you're just doing your life, you're just doing who you are.
What is the message that we want to bring over to someone that's never done a training like this before?
That it's very liberating and fulfilling. I guess we're both offering our testimonial toward the training itself. You as an experienced trainer, teacher, coach, and I just being, someone who survived that 1 year of training. I'm extremely proud of myself, by the way, for having finished the year.
Survived it.
I'm sorry.
So you used the word survived the 1 year.
Yeah, I used the word survive because there are many, many times I wanted to stop. And so I really felt a big chunk of me was torn off. It's like a deep process of self-transformation.
Yeah.
Every defense we could have, every instinct of suppressing ourselves emotionally, all that was gently melted away, melted down in a very, very safe environment. sometimes it's full of conflicts, but understanding that even when conflicts happen to take place, it's still, there's a bigger circle that's holding all of us. This is the stage. It's like a sacred circle. Whatever happens here is allowed, is accepted, and we're allowed to show ourselves. And I think in that, it's extremely healing and really, really transformative.
That's great to hear. This training is quite demanding, and it doesn't suit everyone in everybody's life. And there are so many stages in everybody's life, so people have to decide for themselves. So if you feel drawn, do it. And if you feel not drawn, don't do it. It's very good to take the training. It's also, I'm very happy there was last year a student that dropped out in the first 2 months. And she found out, I'm not an actress. And I think that's a huge and very helpful revelation for someone, to take off the burden that you find out, this is not for me. Well, then this is the result of your training, that you don't want to pursue being an actor anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's such
still a big step. Yeah.
It's such a big step. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody could view this as some narrow-minded people might view this as a failure, but actually, if you look at it from a bigger point of view of one living their life, trying to pursue their own personal truth, it's one tremendous step, liberating from an illusion, from a false objective, isn't it?
Yeah. And other people find something else. Because regardless whether you turn out to be an actor or not, I think people gain a lot from the training itself.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I guess just follow your impulse, whatever you're feeling right now after viewing this conversation, and just respect that and let that live out.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. I think that's good.